Movie theaters are completely ruined. I haven't been to a cinema for years. I used to go to cinema so much. I don't know what has changed, but it was awful all the time because of people being annoying.
There was a time not too long ago where going to the movies was one of the better things you could do with your night. You could just get your overpriced popcorn, find your seat, and for 2 hours, you're just gone and you're completely
I always bought food from the supermarket and I just smuggled them in with my bag. They never checked my bag.
locked in. Whatever was stressing you out before
Anywhere
you
in
walked through
Europe.
those doors doesn't exist anymore. The movie is the only thing that exists. That was the whole thing. Even during the Great Depression, the movie industry was soaring. Now, somewhere along the way, I don't know exactly when, I don't know exactly who started it, but the deal got violated. Because going to the movies now is not a peaceful experience. It's kind of an endurance test, and you're paying at minimum $15 to $20 to sit in a dark room with a random selection of people who have...
You know what's the insane part? $15 to $20 is in the US. It's basically the same price where I'm from. And salaries here are like 15 to 10%, 10 times to 15 times less.
collectively decided their individual experience matters more than everybody else's combined, and you just have to sit there. So today we're breaking down the worst things about movie theaters right now. Let's go. And there's no better way to start off than with the TikTok.
When people are just talking all the time nonstop, or the guy sitting next to you fucking stinks, or there's a couple just kissing right next to you all the time, and you're like, ugh. I need some peace. You guys need a private room.
Attention span couple. These two are dangerous specifically because of where
Oh,
they
yeah.
sit. Like they always, and I need you to understand that I mean always, end up directly in front of you. Like this shit is not a coincidence. I think the universe does this deliberately as some kind of test. The movie's been going on for maybe 12 minutes. Things are just starting to develop. There's a tense scene. The theater is dark, and then suddenly, in your direct sight line, a phone screen erupts. The brightness has to be on maximum every time.
Yeah, I've done that a lot of the times. I usually just tone it down immediately, but yeah, it happens. I don't blame people on
They're
that.
signaling a fucking aircraft.
If they
The glow
just
from that
lower it
screen is
immediately.
filling your peripheral vision and actively pulling you out of the film you paid to see. This is 10
Yeah.
times worse than the CSGO flashbang. Put Trainwreck's TV getting flashbanged on the screen. This is you in the theater. Never, and I mean never, is their phone out for any good reason. There's no emergency ever. They're just scrolling. It's just standard feed activity. Like someone's watching a TikTok with the sound.
Oh, these days, if you scroll on Instagram, you might be flashbanged by some naked, half corn
Really
something.
muted, and you can hear the faint
Sadly.
audio bleeding through. I don't
Even
know
with YouTube ads these
what it
days.
is, but people in the modern world feel like they always have to be checking something. Real life has turned into a Five Nights at Freddy's game where you're checking the cameras.
Oh, yeah,
except the
this is a bigger
cameras are the
issue,
different
man.
apps on your phone telling you to check them. We've also
Yeah.
very much scrutinized Karens as a society, but Karens are the reason that people are afraid
Listen, man, Karens, they deserve to be scrutinized,
to
okay?
do shit like this. Like, people don't bring out their bright-ass phones during a movie because they're afraid of some Karen telling them to put it away. So, for all intents and purposes, maybe you have to be the Karen for the day.
We
I've seen
actually need cinema Karens. Sometimes Karens in traffic are right, and we need cinema Karens.
people be asked to
To
put their
actually
phone
keep
away,
the
and they'll
cinema
do
in
it, but,
check.
like for 90
The
seconds.
theater.
They physically cannot be away from their phone for the length of a feature film. Like they've made the decision to come to a movie theater anyway. And that part gets me. Like they knew this about themselves and they still bought the tickets, sat down and committed to the situation. Like if you
Yeah,
don't-
you're giving people way too much props, man. People are not that self-aware. People do not know and are not as aware about how much they can disturb others. They don't.
you're a phone
Sometimes I speak way too loudly in restaurants, and my mom or my friends are like, "Hey, you gotta calm down." I'm like, "Wait, what? Who am I harming?"
addict, or that you just have to scroll or like respond to a notification the moment you get it, don't go to the theaters. At some point during a quiet pivotal moment in whatever movie you're watching, you'll catch yourself staring at their screen instead of the actual movie screen, and you'll realize you have no idea what's been happening in the film for like the last 10 minutes. And then you realize the collateral damage this person has done. It's quite brutal. Moving on, we've got the snack concealment family. Now, I gotta be honest with you.
What?
This is like a rare moment of moral complexity in this video because I cannot fully be mad at the snack concealment family because Walmart popcorn is $2 and the movie theater is charging $15 for the same volume of popcorn in a bucket with a cartoon on it. So this family just looked at that math and said absolutely not. But I will say it doesn't stop like at a bag of M&Ms. Like you do have people bringing in full
Oh
Chipotle bags
No.
stuffed into backpacks, candy bars distributed across
That's
jacket
fine.
pockets, a 2-liter tote bag wrapped in a hoodie for insulation. Someone in this family like rehearsed the walk-in. They did not make eye contact at the concession stand, went straight into the theater door, and did not slow down. The employee scanning tickets could see the outline of something suspicious in that bag. Like, they know. They always know. But the calculations on their end is that the confrontation is not worth the $12 an hour that they're getting paid, so the snack concealment...
Yeah, I was about to say, those people, mostly young folks, mostly my age or even younger, are they not paid enough? You think they're gonna give a fuck that much? Oh, they're gonna get fired. Listen, man, they can find tons of other jobs that pay less or more or the same and don't have to deal with people like this, okay? At the end of the day, they're still gonna be cleaning up messes no matter what, okay?
gets through almost every time. They're sitting 2 rows behind you now eating fucking Wendy's. Like, you can smell it. Like, you're kind of jealous, but
yeah.
you spending $9.50 on a popcorn, and when they have a full combo meal, I mean, it is
Yeah.
what it is. All right,
It kind of ruins my night. I kind of think about food all the time instead of the movie.
We've got the seat kicker. Now, if you've ever been on an airplane, you know these people exist, but there's something that happens to your brain when you feel the first kick coming from behind you. First, it registers as an accident. Like, of course it's an accident. Nobody would just intentionally kick a seat, so
Yeah.
let it go. Then it happens again.
It's
Still,
usually a little kid or a baby. When it's, well, not a plane, but it's usually a little kid doesn't really have the awareness that I just tell them, and usually they stop.
probably an accident.
But then there's those types of kids where they do it on purpose to rage bait others and get in trouble because they have fun with it. And sadly, when I was 9 years old, used to be one of them. Yep, I was a piece of shit child. What can I say?
They're fidgety. They
I
don't
hate it.
realize. Then
I'm so
happens
sorry
again
to all the
and
adults.
again. And now you're 3 kicks deep, and you're trying to work up the courage to turn around and say something. The seat kicker is almost always a kid, and that kid is almost always attached to a parent who has entered a disassociation state. It's impossible for their kid to do anything wrong. Like, if you say that they did something wrong to the parent will look at the child, say their name once in like a warning tone, like Connor. And this usually carries 0 weight, and then they'll return to their own checked out state. The child will pause for 90 seconds.
Yeah, that's even the worst part. When it comes to this, can be a whole separate video I can make on my main channel, link in the description. But there's a lot of people that don't really have, they just can't really control their kids. Like, I'm walking in the park, and there's families with little kids. There's kids with bikes, with scooters, and all of this, little ones, right, for little kids. They are driving in my. I'm walking, I can't see shit because I don't know, I'm talking or I'm not usually on the phone, but I'm like looking at the trees or something on the side, and then I just feel something hit me, like a 70-pound fucking kid hitting me with his little scooter, which actually feels like 150 pounds because he and his scooter and riding on like what, a few kilometers an hour. Yeah, fuck that.
Will resume. Moving on, we've got the late
And they
arrival.
make me the bad guy when I complain to the parents. I tell them, hey, you know, your kid doesn't care about other people's safety. Please focus on your little kid. If you need to put him on a chain or something, god damn it.
15 minutes of trailers.
I'm joking, of
15
course not on
full
the chain.
minutes
Just
of
hold
movie
them.
trailers. And then you also have 15 minutes of random ass ads before the trailers where they show you the movie theater's own branded content. 30
That's why
minutes
I'm
of
always
buffer
late
time
to
built in
movies,
specifically
and
so
I
that
always
if
watch
you're
all
running
of it.
a little behind, you can still catch the actual film. It should be physically impossible to be late for a modern movie, and yet this movie has been going on for 20 minutes. Real plot is happening. Characters are being developed, and from the back of the theater, you hear a door swing open, and a group of 5 people start making their way down your row using their phone flashlights, which they are holding roughly at eye level, which means
No,
you
I
are
don't
getting-
usually have a problem with that. People don't usually use their full flashlight. Not really. You can basically see everything, especially if you've been in the dark for a few minutes, you're used to in the dark and you can see more in the dark. You know, when you go from very dark and very sunny, you can't see shit. It's the same when you go from the opposite. Once you get used to it, it's not that big of a deal. Usually cinemas, even at the entrance, not really that, lit up. But I don't really have an issue with this. And I've been late multiple times. And I caught it exactly when the movie started. Because even though it says it's going to start at 9 p.m., it actually starts at 9 fucking 15. Because of those ads.
immediately blinded during the most tense scene so far. They have not found their seats yet, they're checking their tickets, they're second guessing the row, and by the time they finally sit down, the moment is completely gone. Like whatever the movie was building up to has been dismantled by this group.
I don't know. I don't have that
hooligans.
issue,
Also,
but
these
I
people
get
have
it.
full volume conversations about what they missed, trying to play guessing games with each other as to what possibly happened while they were late. Either get to the movie on time or just take the loss and watch it at home. Moving right
Just
along,
Google
we've got
it.
The Clappers.
I don't know.
Look, I understand it, like emotionally, I understand it. You've been invested in a franchise for years, like a character does something incredible. It's a genuine cinematic moment and your body just responds, like I get it. But bro, the clapping, like the standing ovation, the cheering at the screen like the actors are there, they're not there. Like Robert Downey Jr. cannot hear you. The version of the story that you're watching was locked and exported and shipped to this theater weeks
I don't know. It
ago.
depends on the movie, man. Sometimes that happens. It doesn't really bother me that much, as long as it's long. It's not long. It's short. But usually, if I'm in too deep in a movie, I won't really care about that much, and I'll feel their energy as well. It's the same when in horror movies. When I watch horror movies in cinemas, when people shout and jump, I'm not gonna blame them for it. It usually makes me laugh.
Whatever you do in this seat is not going to reach them. You're applauding a projector screen. And the Clappers do not do this once. Like, they'll do it throughout the movie. Like, every heroic moment, or every time they do, like, a reference to an earlier movie, or, like, when Deadpool winks at the camera, they start
that was an
clapping.
amazing
Do not
movie.
get me started on the post-credit screen
Okay,
after.
the winking part, yeah, that similar to that shit has happened. I was cringing. I was like, God damn it, these people, man.
The person next to you is literally trembling. The funniest version of this is when you're watching a movie and the clappers start clapping and like not everyone in the theater joins in, so it's just like 6 people clapping in a room of 200 and it just fades out awkwardly after about 4 seconds. You think the silence would be a cue to the clappers that maybe they're a little out of place, but they're completely unbothered and planning on doing it again. I think movie theaters have
Usually when you're young and you're in a group, you won't feel as embarrassed when there's a whole group of you guys doing something dumb. Okay, we've all been kids. We've all been there. Okay, and it builds character. Okay, it's gonna make you be socially more aware in the future and not as embarrassed in the future to, for example, approach women or men. Yeah, just don't use it for evil purposes, like annoying people in cinemas.
understand that with all the options out there for consuming media, they have to step up their game a bit and compete better. Because the reality is, most people would prefer to lay in bed or on their couch and watch something on Netflix than actually go to the theater, have to risk some idiot on their phone the whole time, and be out $30 the moment they get thirsty.
I've basically watched every single movie and series, who watch a series in a cinema, but every single movie that I've watched in the last 2 years. I haven't been to a cinema in 2 fucking years. I used to go to cinemas like twice a month or something. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, that's a lot. I don't know why I stopped. Actually, I know why. I used to date a girl and we used to go all the time. Since I stopped dating her, I just stopped going. It's just more fun when I go with somebody else, I've got nothing against watching the movie by myself in the cinema, but I could just walk on my walk pad at home, get the steps in, and also watch the movie. God damn it.
Now, even though these issues are prevalent, if the movies themselves that we're dropping were insanely good and only available in theaters, then people would go. But I feel like shit just hasn't been that good in the past few years. Like, yeah, Oppenheimer was in 2022. That movie was okay. I'm sure there's one good movie a year that I go and see, but I gotta say, there should be bangers every week, and there just isn't. I like movies, and I like having an excuse to leave my house, like the theaters, but Hollywood needs to step it up. Like, that movie Obsession was made by a YouTuber.
Yeah, movies aren't what they used to be, and I don't know what the fuck's happening with Hollywood, but very many movies that used to be classics, they used to be franchises in series and all of this, they're just getting overly politicized. They're just trying to push some kind of a message. Like this new movie, Odyssey. I saw a lot of people hating over it because the trans man, the guy, forgot the name. I don't really care. I don't care that there's a trans person or a non-trans person playing the role, as long as they, look the part for the role. I really don't care. And hey, look at it. It actually got pretty good ratings. As far as I know, and last I saw a few days ago on Rotten Tomatoes, it actually got a 9-point-something rating. So it was actually pretty good.
And it clearly
I haven't seen it. I'm just looking at the reviews, but I saw a lot of right-leaning political people hating on it, and left-leaning political people were like, liking the representation, or they just didn't care. I'm a mixed bag of politics. For some topics I'm left, for some topics I'm right. I just didn't care.
$100 million, yielding a 100x return on the budget. Like, that's insane. You're telling me that these massive studios can't do the same thing? Like, I just find that hard to believe. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If there's any movies
Yeah, I also remember when a Markiplier created his movie just like a few months ago. Was it like last year or something? I forgot what the movie's name was. It like performed very well. It was, not a big budget movie. Well, it was a huge budget for one YouTuber, one singular person, but for a huge Hollywood creative studio, whatever you call them, those companies, not a lot of money. And as far as I know, they like removed the movie from certain platforms on purpose. I don't know which platforms they were it was removed from, because they were like, holy shit, this good of a movie, this much profit, with this low of a budget for production, this is bad. It just goes to show how much, even they have the budget for it, they just create a lot of BS movies. Just stop recreating old movies. Think of something new, okay? Come on. Think of new heroes, new protagonists, new vigilantes. We don't need a new version of Batman where Batman is now a trans alien. I don't care. Or if it's a woman or a man, I don't care. Make someone new and interesting, Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments. One thing he didn't mention is people who fall asleep and start snoring, and people who smell. But maybe that's just my experience. But yeah, those people have actually ruined my experience watching a movie. Tell me what you guys think in the comments, and have a nice day.